You know you do.
We got
9,
10 seconds left.
8,
let's get the
7,
show on the road here.
5, 4.
Professional. Tonight we revisit both the island of Cozumel and an old friend who was on our second show over a year ago, and just in time to talk about the problems and the warnings being issued for that area. That is, of course, Adrian from Adrian Cozumel Tours. He'll be answering all your questions about what has changed in the past year and just how accurate the recent tourist warnings are. We have our photo of the week. Chris the Flying Scotsman is back on the ship and has another video for us, and Shally will be covering taking children on a cruise ship and answering the question of, can they bring a bottle of wine for you? Plus, I will have my science segment on stuff you walk on while on a cruise, and that is sand, and why it's mostly fish poop. All this and my fun smiling face coming right up on CruiseWeekTV Live. Our show this week is brought to you by the folks at Good Memories Travel and by the Imax. Hello everyone, I am Matt, and if this is your first time here, welcome to the show. If you are a regular viewer, you should have noticed that my hair is a different color this time, and we also want to thank you for joining us each and every week. On our show, we bring on the cruise experts to give you good, solid help and advice for all things cruising and let you ask them your questions directly. Tonight, we are revisiting Cozumel, which we featured on our second episode over a year ago. And it's kind of in the news with two big cruise companies pulling their ferry tours from the island. We asked local Cozumel resident Adrian to come on the show and talk firsthand about what is happening and how this is affecting tourism on the island. If you have your questions for Adrian, post them in the comment section on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll be able to see them and put those questions directly to him. But before we get to talk to Adrian, let's look at our photo of the week. This week, we asked people in the Carnival Sunshine Past, Present, and Future group. This one was sent in by Pam. That animal is very, very large. It's bigger than her son. Amazing. I love towel animals, and it's always great to go back to your room and just kind of see what these staffs have actually been able to do for you there, especially when there's a bottle of champagne tucked away in there. Not always the case, but sometimes it's a nice surprise. Anyway, if you guys want to be featured on our next week's show, you can send a cruise photo to photos@cruiseweek.tv or wait to see us post a request in your favorite Facebook news group. So, we all like to save money when booking a cruise. I mean, don't we? Well, here's one super easy way to do that. Use a travel agent. Good Memories Travel is the one we recommend. When Debbie saw the hard work that we were putting into bringing you all the cruise news, information to help others, she wanted to help and support us. We would ask you to support her next time you book a cruise. Good Memories Travel is a full-service cruise travel agency that offers you cash back and incentives that you won't get booking direct with the cruise lines. Why would you pay more for less? You can call or visit Good Memories Travel on the web, and it costs you nothing to compare price and see the superior service and extras you get when you go through Debbie and her team for your next cruise vacation. They cover all the cruise lines, and if you are a new cruiser, they can suggest the best ship and cruise to suit your cruising style. Give Debbie a call or visit their website today and see how much easier and cheaper it can be. Debbie can be reached directly at 321-338-2953, and of course their website at goodmemoriestravel.com. We have been doing this weekly show now for just over a year, and even in that time, a lot has changed. Bird has gotten a lot more gray hairs that he tries to carve up with more hair dye. Shally has learned how to get an equal ratio of booze and shoes onto a cruise ship, and new ships have come out. And Cozumel has been in the news with a bomb exploding on a ferry there. So we thought after a year we would revisit one of the most popular cruise stops, especially since it has been in the news in the past few weeks, and talk to our old friend Adrian from Cozumel. Let's get the answers directly from him and kind of see what's going on. Thanks for coming back on the show, Adrian.
Well, thank you guys. It's a pleasure to be back at Cruise Week TV, and I really want you and all of the people watching us. And I want to make sure that I don't forget that I'm so happy to see Charlie behind the screen. We always chit chat on the common. Well, recently there's a lot of work going on, and we have been missing a lot. But Charlie is always a dear friend and a person I admire for what she's done for the cruise industry, for the cruise people that visit everywhere in the Caribbean. The group Carnival, present, past, and future. It's a great source of information, and especially like a lot of work behind that. You know, there's a lot of admins that keep that going on. So I really want to make sure that I thank every single one of you guys for this invitation, which matters. And like you said before, yeah, we are all over the news, but
so
we're here.
Before
we are
get
safe.
into
we are
some of the news stuff, I kind of just want to catch up with you a little bit because I want to give people time to ask some questions as it comes up. Because lately in the news, we'll just kind of go over a brief synopsis. There's been 2 separate bomb instances in Mexico recently on ferries, one that was found on a ferry boat and one that actually went off. I'll let you guys kind of think about that for a little bit, ask questions, and then we'll talk a bit more about that later on. But before we talk about the bombs and explosion, let's kind of catch up a little bit. So, what have you been up to? It's been a year so far since you've been on our show. How have things kind of been down there?
Well, first of all, I like to make sure that everybody knows Adrian Cozumel is not a corporation. Adrian Cozumel is just a guy that had the blessing to be born here in Cozumel, and I've been doing tours since a very early age. And my model of business is always being honest and legit to a small group. I specialize on custom experiences, and I am not a greedy company looking with a marketing team with a hundreds of employees. I try to keep it small so I can supply a good quality product to the people that trust me. So a lot of the people ask me through the years, Adrian, what has been the growth of your company? And well, although we have been keeping busier, we're still the same. I am Adrian Cozumel, and I will be able to take you and your family around. So basically, it's the same but busier because a lot of people have put their trust on my services, and I really take that with a lot of responsibility and very professional. But
So,
Cozumel, like you were
myself,
asking before,
Bird,
it's
went on a wonderful little excursion with you last time we were down there, and we had a fantastic time. You guys are able to go back to CruiseWeek.tv and check out the whole entire excursion that went on with Adrian. It was an amazing tour, very personalized. I'm still
thank you.
missing that tequila that we went to, and it was right in the morning, so it kind of got me up and ready to go. I was a little bit buzzed for the bird tour, but it was a pretty good day. It was a pretty good day. So, what new tours are you offering down there? Is there anything new that some of the people can really go into?
Well, like I was telling you earlier, the having the ability to work with small groups, we can pretty much play around the weather conditions. And I just want to give you an example. For example, I want to give you an example. Sorry, yesterday I had a boat tour, and we had 12 people of the dream, and the weather conditions had been great. The ship came a little later than usually. Most of them, it came around 10:30, and by the time people got to the pier, it was like pouring rain. The conditions were really bad, and I would not take the people under those conditions like most of the big companies would. So we just flipped it over. I made a phone call, and I talked to my guest and asked them, hey, why don't we flip this into a bus tour? So we end up riding around the island. We went to the tequila place, which right now has like 7 locations all over the island.
Wow.
We went to the golf course. We went around the whole place. We went, of course, to eat at my family restaurant, Casa Dennis, which is the oldest restaurant. So pretty much the new is that I can customize and
Nice.
play with the weather to get the most or the
Out
best
of the
out of the
yep.
time. Like just a couple days ago, I had a trip with Taz Bar. A lot of people know Taz Bar and her daughter, and
Mhm.
we took the small boat and we went to a sandbar. We had lunch. We went swimming with the stingrays and doing like extreme snorkeling. That's something that if you ask me about something new, although it's not new, but a lot of people are experiencing the extreme snorkeling, and that's a pretty cool technique to snorkel, where I put a rope,
Mhm.
like a 60-foot rope with a float in the back, and the people just
So
hold on the rope, and they
with
go slowly through the reef.
so you're in the touring industry, of course, with tourism and everything of that nature. In the past month, I'm just going to kind of read through this. There's been a ferry which exploded and another one where a bomb was placed on it. Tourists have speculated a whole bunch of ideas, but we kind of want to hear from you since you're living right where it's happened, or at least in the general area. What's kind of going on with the ferries and the bombs, and are tourists safe there? I mean, what's the safety like in general down there? Does everyone kind of feel a bit more tense? Has anything really changed in Cozumel? Or what's the general environment that people feel now when they're visiting?
Well, first of all, we have to make sure that we don't fall into the speculations, and we evaluate most of the news that we see. Remember, all those news travel from hand to hand, from mouth to mouth, and by the time they go to their destination, they are all twisted and all changed, and they are always going to be kind of an alarm. Of course, I'm not going to deny there was a bomb, but there is a political affair behind all of this. I just like to explain everybody that in the island of Cozumel, because we are an island, we depend on the ferry transportation system. So for the beginning, we had this company, only one company that would fare for us, and the rates were set by them and at their convenience. A few years ago, we had a second company. The first one was Mexico Water Jets, and the second one it's Ultramar, and of course the competition of prices started to going on. And just last couple of years, we had a third one called Caribe, which is the affected one, and they dropped off their prices to the point that the whole market started to have trouble.
Mm,
And most important, guys, this threat wasn't against tourists.
okay.
Nobody was killed. Uh, we cannot make a supposition because we would commit a mistake. But the explosion, which happened 2 weeks ago, you saw it on the news, you saw the video. We cannot hide that. But interestingly, they waited until everybody was off the ferry to blow it off, and they said it was like mechanical problems. They mentioned some kind of gas accumulation, but if you have a little common sense, it wasn't that. But the threat was not against tourists. That's something that everybody should know. It's a political situation going on between all these companies. We cannot blame any of them, but uh, basically is what's going on. Then, after that explosion, it went on the news. Nothing happened. A week later, they found a second bomb,
Hmm.
and I don't know if I don't have the picture right here, but they put a piece of PVC on their rudder by the of this boat of the same company that had been anchored in Cozumel for 10 months.
Hmm.
That ship or that ferry didn't have the permits to work, and it was sitting right across the town. And out of a sudden, they found a second bomb. It went out on the news, and that went crazy because that's a day after that the U.S. government started to make warnings and sending emails to every single one. We start getting cancellations because people were panicking and freaking out. But if you look at that picture, it's like really a piece of PVC with no radiator. It was just with a piece of cloth. There was no way to ignite that bomb, and even though it had an electronic mechanism inside, there was not a official release or any information that said what was on that PVC. So again, the news went out, speculation happened, people are freaking out. People right now on land that were supposed to be coming to Cozumel for tours, but they don't want to take the ferry. But a lot of people that are staying on the mainland also are taking the ferry. I have taken the ferry with my wife, with my daughter in the last week, and it's pretty safe. Of course, there is more authorities checking the marinas. They are also reviewing the boats. On the tour companies, they are also being more observant, and life goes on, and this isn't going to stop the island. You know, we will struggle, of course, because of the news, but it's very safe. People have been coming off the ships, and we're asking them to spread the word, their experiences in the island. And you know, a lot of people are watching us right now, and they cannot call me a liar, because life keeps going on in Cozumel, and it's still very safe.
So the U.S. Embassy in Mexico has issued a new travel alert for the Caribbean resort city of Playa del Carmen, where one of the explosions of the tourist fender injured the 26 people in the last couple of weeks. So they stated that in Mexico alone, we've issued a number of recent security alerts as soon as we received information that travelers should know. The statement said, "We encourage travelers to be aware of their surroundings and exercise caution." In a previous alert last week, the embassy had only barred employees from taking ferries between Playa del Carmen and Cozumel Island. But to me, their statement's kind of obvious and applies to anywhere, not just traveling to other countries, but I mean in your own country. Be aware of your surroundings and be cautious. I feel like that kind of goes without saying. So, I mean, to me, the severity of the issue, if the embassy is just like, oh, be aware of your surroundings, it doesn't sound like it's a giant threat. And like you were saying, the issue wasn't relative to tourists or anything like that. They just wanted to kind of make it more of a scandal on their own part to try to get something out of it. So to me, I mean, I would feel safe going on ferries. I wouldn't really feel too worried about that. We've had a lot of people comment on our stream earlier on for our Wednesday show when we were talking about this very lightly, that they've always kind of felt safe in Cozumel. This is a relatively new issue, and it's not anything too severe about that. So in the past couple weeks since the incident, have you noticed that tourism has decreased or anything of that nature, or has things kind of been going on like nothing really happened?
It has decreased. A lot of people have canceled. A lot of people are afraid. I believe it's something. I mean, everybody has the rights to make their cancellations and to feel safer wherever they go. I won't, when I get a cancellation, I won't question the people, especially because I would put myself into their shoes, and it would be unfair to force them and tell them, hey, I'll keep your deposits because it's safe. I mean, they have the rights also to be scared. But it's a reality. It's affecting us. We have gone through the swine flu. We have gone through many hurricanes. And sadly, you know, a lot of these releases, a lot of this information on the news has made people believe or think, get scared. And remember, fear is the number one factor that can affect a human. And if the system tells you, hey, don't do this, or the cruise line tells you, hey, don't go and book with anybody outside the cruise line because it's unsafe, of course you have to use your common sense. You get off the ship. Just recently, listen, I got this call from somebody of the group, and they said, Adrian, we went to Cozumel and we felt very threatened by this guy, and they sold us a bottle of alcohol, it was like a liqueur for like $50, and then we got back to the ship area and that same bottle was like $10. So I told this person, listen, did you get a receipt of the company where you bought it from? Well, we did. So everywhere you go, you have to use the common sense. Like if you go all over the US or Canada or Europe, you have to use common sense when you do your shopping, when you make a decision who you go on a tour. Always ask for references before you make a final decision. And that's why
Exactly.
I'm here. I really appreciate this opportunity that you are giving me to do this interview, because we care. We like I said earlier, I am a person just like you guys. I have bills at the end of the month that I have to pay. I have my daughter in school. I have food that I have to do, and I have to do all my shopping. And I live in a small place or a small house, and just like the rest of you, just the difference is I happen to be born in a beautiful island and have one of the most wonderful jobs in the world. And to me, it's a blessing that people keeps coming back to our island. So again, I want to transfer this message to all of your friends that have been to Cozumel, and they have been safe. Share the experience, talk to family, whoever is coming to Cozumel, tell them it's safe, and don't be afraid. Things are, again, between those companies, between political people, is not against the tourism. Remember that.
Exactly. Also, just checking with TripAdvisor as well, you can find a lot of reputable reviews on that. I would highly recommend finding tour guides or looking for different things to do in these different ports and islands through TripAdvisor, because you can get other people commenting on it from all over the world and get a lot of ideas that you might not get, or versus finding like a random tour that doesn't have a lot of reviews or it seems a bit weird. TripAdvisor is certified, and it's just a lot safer to use different tours through them. And I believe Adrian is also with TripAdvisor as well, which is right.
Yeah, there is a lot of source of information for tourists,
Hmm.
and there's TripAdvisor. There's like CruiseWeekTV, for example. You guys, the all the forums, the big forum at Carnival, past, present, and future. There's thousands of people. I think it's like 160,000 people right there that have experience, that
Hmm.
have been around in the last few days, that have had fun, and we just feel stronger after this. We feel like we are going to be better, and we have a lot of competition. A lot of islands are looking at taking a lot of business out of Cozumel, and we're not gonna give up. We are always gonna be working hard to make and to make sure that we please all of our visitors. And that's a personal message. I want to make sure that you all know that for sure.
Also, guys, make sure you can ask questions in the comments below, and we'll try to get to them. So this question comes from David Trybree. Sorry, I am really bad at doing names here. Anyway, he says, we have been told that it's safe, but no one has ever said what happened or by who. All they ever said was that they found another bomb on the same ferry line. What has changed to assure travelers that it's safe now? Before you answer, Adrian, I just kind of want to ask a very similar question. I mean, there's been issues in our own country too lately with safety and even just visiting, let's say, New York City, for example. You probably hear all the time about crime happening in New York, yet people still would love to go down there for a vacation or just kind of roam around the city endlessly. I mean, there's issues that are going to happen here and there, and that's just life. It's unfortunately the world we live in where bad things do happen, and it does go on the news. But I mean, if you're not able to live life because of a slight issue that happened that didn't really affect a huge amount of people and a very small percentile, then you're not really living. It's not really worth the risk. I mean, going out on a cruise to different islands and stuff, you're going to be taking a risk because that's what life is. It's just a bunch of risks, and sometimes they're really worthwhile. But anyway,
Yeah.
he says, what has changed to assure travelers that it's safe now?
Okay. First, I like to make an example here of what happened, and the news usually hit and run. They send the news, people get scared, but then, like I said earlier, there was not an official release of what was in that piece of pipe that was discovered in the prop of that ferry. So if we don't have the whole story, of course, the people just believe the first news they see, but the end of the story is not state because it's not of any interest. It's not an alarm that all the news are looking to sell. And you have a good point. I mean, a lot of crime going on everywhere. Again, this is not a situation against tourists. Otherwise, it could have happened earlier. Right now, we are very aware. We are very there is a military people, there is Navy people, which we have always had in Cozumel because we are like we are like the farthest south island in Mexico. So we have to have military, we have to have Navy, we have to have state police, federal police, municipality police, tourist police, and that makes a very safe island. Also, it's important that everybody understand that like Cozumel, it's one of the first cruise ship destinations in the world, and that's not going to stop. There is a lot of interest in the cruise ship industry, and if it wasn't really safe, all the cruise lines have already stopped coming to Cozumel,
Exactly.
which they have not. So that's very important that you put into consideration.
So we have a first-time cruiser asking a question. This one comes from Becca May. She says, I'm doing the excursion Twister to Isla Passion next week. Should I cancel it or am I good? So I can definitely see where that question comes from, especially if you're a new-time cruiser and hearing the news, it can be a bit scary. Adrian, what do you think about that?
You will be totally fine. That company that takes people to Passion Island is very professional, and they've been going out every day. I was with a couple people a couple days ago. Taz Bar. We saw the Twister boat going by, and full of people having fun. We have seen all the Fury boats. We have seen all these catamarans, all these beach clubs. Mr. Sancho's has been packed. Playa Mia, Nachi Cocom, Sky Reef. They have people still, and they cancel the excursions to the mainland where they have to use the ferry transportation system. And that is a policy that the cruise lines decided. But again, like you said before, there hasn't been a official release of what happened afterwards. But you're going to be okay with the Passion Island. Don't worry about that.
We've talked about, a lot of people going to Cozumel and Mexico in general just on cruise ships, and they're only able to see it for a couple hours. Ken Jordan asks, Adrian, I know most people come to Cozumel by ship and can only see Cozumel for a few hours, but what if you're coming by plane or will be there for a couple of days? What are some of the best hotels that you've been to? You showed us one of the hotels. I can't remember the name there, but it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we have all kind of budgets. We have all inclusives. We have European packages. We have bed and breakfast. We have condos, private homes, beach properties. I mean, you name it. For any budget, we have an option. And you can fly cheaper to Cancun, take a bus, and of course, take a ferry over to the island, or fly direct to Cozumel, which is a little bit more expensive, but we have an international airport here in the island.
I think Shelly mentioned that it was the Ventanas Hotel that we went to. Ventanas. Sorry, the Ventanas. Yes, that one. You guys can actually check out some of the hotel video on our CruiseWeek.tv website when we did the tour with Adrian. So what was the rates for that hotel? Because it had its own little indoor or outdoor pool. It was right on the beach. You were about like half an hour away from the town. It was very secluded on its own, and it just seemed so serene to be there.
Yeah, remember that Cozumel has the western side, which is the developed part where most of the cruise ships and hotels dock. And we have the wild side, which is the eastern coast. It's the undeveloped part of the island. And there is only one hotel there, which is called Ventanas Al Mar. And that hotel is a 14 bedrooms or 14 rooms, and it relay on the generator. The range of prices on their rooms are about $130 to $170 a night. It's the only one hotel on the eastern coast or the wild side of the island, which makes a unique experience because at night you can pretty much see like all the sky, all the stars. It's super dark. Then in the turtle season that starts May through October, you can see the turtles laying their eggs on their beach. And I mean, it's just a unique experience because it's one of those hotels that it stands out by itself because of the location.
What side does the cruise ships normally dock at? Is it the east or the west?
On the western side.
That makes sense with all the activities and other stuff to do down there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Adrian has been here for quite a while with us, and we hope that he answered all of your questions. Adrian, tell us where we can find out a little bit more about your touring stuff and website.
Well, you can visit my website, which is adriancozumel.com, Adrian Cozumel.com, just together. You can also find me on Facebook as Adrian Space Cozumel. You'll see a lot of videos and pictures of all what I do. And again, to mention, I am a small company. It's pretty much myself. I am the CEO. I am the marketing department. I am the driver. I am the guide when you go snorkeling. And I have to, well, actually, the boss is just here. So this is Victoria, which is the one of my daughter, which is my only daughter, and she is the boss of the company. That's why I keep working hard to make sure when she says, "Hey, Daddy, I want to go to college," I can support that.
Nice. And guys, when we went with Adrian, it was absolutely amazing. He did such a great job. It was absolutely fantastic, and there was such great one-on-one experience. It was only myself, Bird, and Zach with us, but we had a fantastic time. We went snorkeling. We tried different tequilas. We went to his family restaurant, and the food there was absolutely superb, and it was authentic Mexican cuisine. So definitely check out Adrian, especially if you're going down to Cozumel. It was a great experience. Adrian, thanks for being on the show with us again. We'll see you next year.
No, thank you, guys, and I hope it doesn't go all the way through the year. And please, if you have any questions about Cozumel, I try to be as responsive as I can. Sometimes it's hard, to keep up with so many, but I always reply to people. Facebook, you probably won't be able to friend me because I have gotten to the limit, but Adrian Space Cozumel or the website adriancozumel.com is where you can find all of the information about me.
Thanks, Adrian. Miami is turning into one giant cruise port as first Carnival and Royal and now Norwegian are announcing new port terminals to accommodate even more cruise ships at the same time. The terminal at Port Miami represents the continued relationship and strong ties between Norwegian and Miami, which has been the company's home since its launch in 1966. Pending the final approval by the Miami-Dade City County Board of County Commissioners, the project will commence in May of 2018 and is scheduled for completion by fall of 2019. This terminal marks the latest step in our continual efforts to strengthen our presence in strategic home ports around the world. We look forward to welcoming Norwegian Encore and the thousands of guests sailing on Norwegian Cruise Line, said Frank Del Rio, NCL's president and CEO. The modern terminal draws its inspirations from a Nautilus, which is inspired by its multiple spiraled, level, faceted openings and grand ocean views. Once complete, it will be the new Pearl of Miami, redefining the landscape of the city skyline. Innovative lighting, inviting indoor and outdoor waiting areas, and other guest-centric elements will enhance the overall passenger experience. At nearly 166,500 square feet, the debuting Norwegian terminal will accommodate ships of up to 5,000 passengers and feature new technologies for faster and more efficient embarkation and disembarkation processes, as well as expedited security screening and luggage checking. So, in other words, just like all the others. So, since there wasn't too much news this week, we thought we would bring you a couple fun facts about Carnival that you may not know. The very first Carnival ship was the Carnival Mardi Gras, built in 1961 and purchased by Carnival in 1972. On her first Carnival voyage, she ran around on a sandbank just outside of Miami. Carnival currently has 25 ships in operation, the oldest being the Fantasy, which they purchased in 1990. The ship that can hold the most passengers is the Vista, carrying 3,934 passengers at one time. Its perming home ports of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Port Carnival, Jacksonville, Tampa, San Juan, Baltimore, New York, New Orleans, Texas, and Long Beach, California. So just about everywhere there's water. Carnival has around 39,000 employees on ships, but only 4,000 on land. And last fact, they move around 4.5 million passengers on ships every year. So our cruise show and all the wonderful abilities we have to bring in guests remotely wouldn't be possible at the level we do without vMix. vMix is the live production software that powers our live show and many other high-end productions. From church services to football games, more and more live productions run on vMix. What our producer Bird really liked when he was trying to improve our show was that they give you a full 60-day trial of everything. That way you can test it out risk-free before you buy for 2 full months. Then they have systems starting from just $350 up to $1,500 depending on your production requirements. If you're going to do any sort of serious live streaming, you need vMix. Try it free today at vmix.com. So, this week, my lovely co-host and super expert packer and cruiser, Shelly, is back with some more helpful advice on all things cruising. This week, it's about the kitties and are they considered a carry-on item? Have you had a fun week, Shelly? And I have a question. Do you ever go on a cruise that isn't a group cruise anymore?
No, I don't. All of my cruises for the past, since I started CCPPF, have all been group cruises, and they're the best. They're fabulous. Everybody needs to go on one. Adrian went on the last one with us. He can vouch for us how great we were. It's so much fun. But I did see your question earlier about packing a little kid or like having your kid take on your wine. No,
it's
you
just
can't do
one
that.
bottle per passenger. I don't think there is the age requirement.
Over the age of 21, Matt. This is a family-friendly show, you know. We can't be trying to use our kids to smuggle our booze on. Give me a break, okay?
Maybe if I chat with some people in the terminal. Hey, do you guys have a bottle of wine for your bags? No, what? Good. Take this. Meet me here at this location. I'll give you $5.
I would never do that, Matt. Oh my Lord!
I
thought this was a family-friendly show. Anyway, we're here to talk about the kids on this week's show. Cover some of the things that moms, dads, grandparents, or anybody else that's bringing a kid with them on their cruise. I started bringing our son on cruises when he was 8 years old. He's gold right now. He's not platinum yet, but I got him halfway there. It was probably the most amazing thing ever. Like taking my son on a cruise was the first time he saw the cruise ship and he realized that we're getting on this ship, how big it is, how wonderful it is. And that was a really great experience. The first ship that I took him on was the Carnival Conquest. In my opinion, a cruise is probably the most economical way that you can take your family on a vacation. Since then, I think he's been on about 5 cruises so far, and the memories that we have from all of those cruises are going to last a lifetime. So tonight I'm going to talk about all the great things that Carnival has to offer for the kids, and at the end of that, just a little bit of advice from one parent to another about taking your kid on a cruise with you. So first of all, I'm just going to go through some of all of the things that Carnival will offer for your children when you bring them on a cruise with you. Not everything that I'm going to talk about is available on every single ship, but all you need to do is go to carnival.com. In the upper left-hand corner of anything, even if you're looking up things that don't have anything to do with kids, you'll see a little icon that says, what ship is this on? So it will, whatever activity you're looking at, whatever you're looking at that might be on your cruise, all you need to do is click on that little link and it will show you all the different ships that these particular activities would be available on what ships. So again, they're not available on every single ship, but these are the things that Carnival offers for the kids.
And again, the cruise ships are probably the best and easiest way to get your families all together, just because, you know, it covers food, board, room, expense. If you're gonna have like,
I mean,
it's just
going to, you can go all-inclusive resorts. I mean, there's all kinds of options for that. But I mean, honestly, when you're talking about your lodging is covered, your food is covered. Many of these, there's a few things on my list that require an additional payment, but most of these things are included in the price of your cruise. And I mean, for us, when you think about feeding and lodging and entertaining your family for 7 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, every day's activities, I mean, it was the only way that my husband and I are comfortable, but I mean, we're not like rolling in the dough or anything. So, I mean, for us, it was a way that we could go on a family vacation every year, and it was affordable. And it was fun, and there were plenty of things for him to do. There were times that we were able to be alone and him do things on his own. Like I said, I didn't even start taking my son until he was about 8 years old. So by the time he was 10 or 11, like the second or third cruise, you know, more freedom was allowed, and he was able to be doing things without us by his side constantly. My personal opinion, this is only my opinion. A lot of people post in the group about bringing infants, children in diapers, that age. I personally would not have done that. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying that I wouldn't have wanted the responsibility of, if your child's in diapers, they can't get in the pool, and a lot of people like, well, there's swim diapers. It doesn't matter if they're not potty trained.
And gross.
Right. If they are not potty trained and they are still in diapers or swim diapers, either one, they're not allowed in the swimming pools. And there's not like a little kiddie pool they can go play in either. I mean, they have just the regular swimming pools. So I think with the waterworks, there might be like a little splash pad area, for the little ones to splash around in. But a little bitty baby.
They just don't have a lot of options, and I mean, I just can't imagine carrying him around or her around the whole ship. Like, that would be pain in my butt.
I'm like, Grandma, can you babysit? We're going on a cruise, because I do not want to be waking up all hours of the night. I don't want to be dragging 15 bottles and diaper bags and a play
formula
and all
and
this
everything.
stuff. No.
That might be
a lot of people do it.
Ask people, what age do you think is the best age or the youngest age that you think you would bring your son or daughter on a ship for? I think right about 5 or 6 years old are probably like the early years, just because they're old enough to kind of understand what's going on and to behave a bit, and you don't have to really be over their shoulders. And I would feel comfortable putting them at some of the facilities on the ships to do different activities.
Well, and another thing you need to consider is that baby is going to be this. I mean, I believe don't quote me on this because I'm not for sure. I should have looked this up, but 6 months and younger, I'm not sure, but they're going to pay the same price for their cruise that an adult is. If they're taking up a space on a lifeboat, they're going to pay the same amount for their cruise, and they won't remember it. They won't have any recollection of the cruise that they went on. I would not start taking a child with me until they were at an age when they could actually remember or have memories of the vacation that we went on. And again, this is just my personal opinion. People bring babies all the time.
Getting the drink card is kind of the same thing. You're getting the drink card and you may or may not remember your cruise either. Like, there's segments of my cruise I don't remember because of that. I mean, let's be honest now.
Yeah, but you would still remember the majority of it. If you're 7 months old, you're not going to remember any of it, period. You didn't have a drink card, but you were 7 months old. You did not remember 1 second of your cruise.
GoPro, good to go.
To me, I would just wait till they were at least old enough to enjoy it, and maybe when they go to Camp Carnival or the kids clubs that they have available for the kids, I would wait to take them until that was something enjoyable for everybody. Again, going on a cruise for me does not involve changing diapers, warming bottles. I'm there to party. Okay. I'm not here to, deal with a little tiny baby. So anyway, here are the things that your kids, that you have for your kids. Carnival is very family friendly. They are all about family stuff. I mean, yes, there's drunks and hairy chest contests and all that too, but they're still a very family friendly cruise line. You'll see a lot of kids there, especially in the summer, during the holidays, things like that. So first of all, and again, not all of these are available on every ship, but this is what Carnival does offer for the children. We have the Sky Ride. That's like a little, it's a zip around safely in their 2-lane course in a pedal powered go-mobile. You're up above the ship and you can see all out. Again, all you need to do is go to carnival.com to see like age restrictions. I don't know if you have to be a certain height or weight to do the particular things, but so anyway, I have the Sky Ride. The next thing in my notes, not my list, is the Imax Theater, which shows first run Hollywood blockbuster movies, recent hit films, and IMAX documentaries, all in a huge format. That is an extra cost. They have the Dr. Seuss at Sea. This is they have special onboard character parade, interactive story time, arts and crafts, activities, the green eggs and ham breakfast, which I went to even though I didn't have my kid with me. I mean, you haven't lived until you've had Fruit Loop covered French toast. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
That sounds like something I would make like at 4 a.m. when I'm like barely getting off my drunkenness. Like, oh yeah, I have Fruit Loops and I have pancake mix. Let me just throw that together and see what. I'm pretty sure that's for like the hangover adult, and then kids can come too.
And the green eggs and ham, the eggs are really green. I mean, they are bright green. They are green eggs and ham, just like Dr. Seuss meant it to be. Anyway, now with the Dr. Seuss breakfast, I believe it's $5 per person, and you do need to make a reservation for that. All you have to do is call down to the dining room before and for that. Another thing that they offer is called Hasbro, the game show. So they have all kinds of Hasbro board games that they've turned into a show for you in the big dining room or in the big showroom. You team up with your friends and your family, you win prizes, and it's all in front of a big audience. You're in the big showroom there. It's a lot of fun. Most of the ships now all of the ships have like a water slide, but some of the ships are upgraded now to what they call the Waterworks, which is Carnival's onboard water park. And I mean, it's everything. It's the big twister slides and the big giant bucket of water that dumps on your head. And it's a lot of fun. I've gone down the slide a few times myself. It's been a lot of fun, especially after a few cocktails, so that's always fun. So then you have the Cherry on Top. That's a candy and more store. They have confections. They have ice cream. They have all kinds of things available there. Of course, for an extra charge. It's not free candy to put your kids in a sugar coma.
They're pretty expensive as well. So a lot of the items on the ship are going to be expensive, and candy bars there are specialty items. Usually, they're expensive. I'm curious, how many of you guys have actually ever purchased something from the Cherry on Top store? I see kids going there all the time looking at them, but Sally, what did you get there?
I like candy. Sometimes you need some sugar to get yourself going again, okay?
You can ship yourself for free, well-ish, for a much cheaper price. I know,
but they have all these big, giant, colorful bins full of candy, and you just scoop them up with your big scoop, and I'm all over it. Anyway, moving on. So the next thing we have is they have the sports square on a lot of the ships now. Mini golf, soccer. They have basketball, volleyball. The basketball court converts into also volleyball. They have pool. They have foosball. They have ping pong. For the grown-ups, they have, elliptical machines and a walking track, and they have that little, what do they call that thing? I can't think, where you get up and they've got you harnessed in. It's like a little obstacle course that you're doing above the deck. They have all kinds of fun things. Again, some of the smaller children, I'm sure that they have restrictions on ages. It's not like you're going to put your 2-year-old up on the sky ride. And if you do, you're not a very good parent. But anyway, I don't think they probably have restrictions for certain kids. But anyway, so next, so a lot of people ask in CCPPF about all the it's Camp Carnival. They have different age groups for each camp that they have available. So they have the Camp Ocean, and that is from 2 to 11-year-olds. Now, it's not like they have the 2-year-olds playing with the 11-year-olds. They have specific activities for each age group within that group. But from 2 to 11, they would be at Camp Ocean. From 12 to 14, they would be in the Circle C. Circle C has dance parties, games, outdoor movies, and more. Club O2 is ages 15 to 17. They do movies, music from this decade. I thought it was funny that they added that when I went to Carnival to get more information about all this. Movies from this decade. I guess they don't want to hear about Billy Idol, right, Matt? Because, that'd be way out of their age group. We had to talk about Billy Idol earlier.
It's a bit difficult.
He's like, I was born in the 90s. I don't know who Billy Idol is.
I mean, some of us show our age in other ways than others,
Yeah, I know. They show their age in other ways. Exactly.
I got radical pink hair. I'm a youngin'.
I know. You should know who Billy Idol is, for God's sakes. Okay, so anyway. Club O2 is 15. Oh, I already did them. Music from this decade, sports, video games, karaoke. They even have like a little prom thing that they do for the older kids. Like on Elegant Night, they're all dressed up and ready to go and have their little Elegant Night outfits on. And also for those parents that might like to stay out late drinking, even though they brought their kids on a cruise, they have the Night Owl program. Now this is an extra fee. It's kind of like a babysitting situation where, if you want to spend time with your friends or your husband or whatever, go out a little later than everybody else, and you don't want your kid dragging along with you, you can go to take them to the Night Owl, and they'll do babysitting up till 1 a.m. So that's really nice. So they also have the Build-A-Bear workshop at sea. That's also an extra fee. Kids can customize their bear from head to toe, choosing clothing, accessories, and even give their bear a voice and message of its own by integrating a customizable voice chip. So I guess your bear can talk to you. They also have the Thrill Theater.
Would love to record.
You have a Build-A-Bear bat?
No, but if I did, which may happen in the future, I would record Dr. E's Good Morning for every single morning in the ship and just have that playing. I wish we had the audio clip of how he says good morning, because that was a special thing.
Can you try to do it? Can you try to duplicate it? Come on, Matt.
It wasn't something I enjoyed because it was usually early and I was waking up hungover. And I'm like, no.
With a pounding headache.
It's not a good morning. You don't understand. But that's what I would record. What would you guys record?
This is a family-friendly show, Matt. We don't want to hear about your hangover and your throbbing headaches, okay? We're family-friendly around here. Anyway, so next we're moving on to Thrill Theater. That the fees apply to that as well, but it's really inexpensive. So on Group Cruise 4 on CCPPS, the 4th annual group cruise, we were there on Halloween, and the Thrill Theater had like this collage of a bunch of different horror films and Friday the 13th stuff. And it was only $5 a person. And it was like, you could, like, when they had the cockroaches running, you felt them like run across your feet. And when Michael was stabbing people on Friday the you could, like, the chair would stab you in the back, and it was really freaky, but it was so much fun, and it was very inexpensive. It didn't cost much at all. We had a lot of fun doing that. The dive-in movies, that's no charge at all. They have popcorn, they have blankets. They show recent blockbuster movies poolside under the stars. It's always fun to go watch a movie.
Blockbuster movies a relevant term anymore now that there's no blockbusters? And the one thing
I mean blockbuster as in current movies, not like the place where you rented movies. You even know what those are, Matt, since you were born in the 90s?
Billy Idol is in a lot of them. And
yeah, he's in all those movies at the Blockbuster movie rental place.
The dive-in movies don't have, though, that's pretty important, are chairs. They don't have chairs for these because...
What do you mean? They have chairs all over the place. What are you talking about?
You want to get there like 3 hours early. Otherwise, these parents, I swear to God, are like vultures. Like, they throw like 15 towels on all these chairs. Like, nope, that's for my kid. That's if he wants to move his seat to get a better seat. I'm like...
Those are called chogs.
Throw your
Those are
stuff away.
chogs. Chair hogs. There, you know what? I would be like, excuse me, if nobody's sitting here, I'm sitting my blonde butt right down here in this chair, okay? So you can't be saving seats.
If I want to be drunk and watch Moana at 11 o'clock at night, I am sure going to sit here in front row and watch Moana while drinking a martini.
Matt is a little aggressive tonight, I think. I don't know what's going on.
Moana's my favorite movie. Do you guys ever experience this when going on the ships, or is it just me? Because every time, even on the Triumph, I've been on 2 ships, and it's 100% of the time. Charlie, have you experienced this a lot?
I don't think I ever ran into a situation where there wasn't a chair available. And also, you can even go one deck up from the Lido, and they have all the chairs sitting up there, and you can still see the movie from there. But you know, Diva must have not been able to walk up the stairs, I guess, with his popcorn and his blanket.
It's not the same.
Moving on. So they also have a video arcade. It's a big, giant arcade, huge array of games. And what was that thing called? The little air hockey. They have all that stuff. Of course, you have to pay for the video games. You have to buy tokens.
They have current video games like Pong and Frogger and...
Frogger? So you know what Frogger is, but you don't know who Billy Idol is. Is that where we're at this point?
Invaders.
Do you know Frogger was with? Do you know that was Atari's first game? That was like 1980.
We're
what?
getting out
84?
the trivia facts now. We're getting out the trivia facts.
Oh my lord! You got your blinders on, Matt. Okay. So the last one
arcade,
is the Tal Animal Theater. Okay. What? No, we're going back to the video arcade. What, Matt? What? Yes, they have Galactica, and they have Pac-Man, and they have all that.
Andy Tavares, by the way, commented, "Excuse me, Shally is the queen frog over there."
I'm the queen. Yeah, that's right, Andy. Okay, you know what you're talking about, girl. That's my brownie right there.
CCPPF Diva / Cheetahs. Sorry.
So anyway, okay, so the last one, the Tal Animal Theater. They bring the Tal animals to life, brought to life by the same masters of the craft that leave the cute little animals nightly in your stateroom. It's been a few years since my son went on a cruise with us. Now that he's 18 and a father and made me a grandmother, he can pay for his own damn cruises, okay? I'm not paying for him anymore. You get to platinum on your own, okay? So anyway, now I'm gonna get real.
Oh.
Okay, am I still on? Something happened.
You're still there. You're too real, Sally. Okay. You're getting too real.
I thought I'm getting real here. Okay. I'm a mother. Lots of us have children. Okay. And I'm going to get real here for a second. There's a few words of advice from one parent to another. I'm not dogging on anybody. I'm not calling anybody out, but this is the bottom line. Okay. Every child's different. And the amount of freedom that you allow your child to have on the cruise is up to you. Kids will be kids, but if your child is not well behaved at home and you're the only one that can make this decision, you know your child better than anybody else. If your kid is a brat at home, they're going to be a brat on the cruise ship. Period. They're not going to be any better there than they are at your house. Okay? So, if they are hard to handle, you make them stay with you. Okay? You make them stay with you all the time. One of the biggest complaints that I see in CCPPF all the time is a lack of supervision from the parents. Kids are going to be kids. You don't go on a cruise ship and, okay, the cabin steward, the cruise director, the camp carnival, okay, they're going to take care of my kids while I go get drunk all day long. That's not how it works. And I'm sorry if I upset anybody by saying any of this, but this is the truth. I've seen very unruly, disrespectful kids running loose on a cruise. Where are their parents? Where's mom and dad? Okay? If your kid is a handful at home, don't think for a second that when they're in a group of other kids on that cruise ship that it's going to be any different on the cruise than they are at home. Okay? So if they're unruly, you need to keep your kid with you. I mean, don't let your kid be dive bombing the pool and getting salt water in my $9 cocktail. This is everybody's vacation. Okay? So keep control of your children. I mean, just because you're on a cruise doesn't mean that it's time to let them go crazy. Okay? If your child is old enough to get free time away from you, like Travis, well, I didn't mean to say his name, but anyway, my son, when we were on the cruise, he was 8. The first couple of cruises, he was not allowed to just run amok on the cruise ship. He was in Camp Carnival or at the age appropriate group he was in. He had to be signed in and out by his parents. He wasn't just going to leave without us. I think it's 10, maybe 11. That cruise, the child is not, unless the parent specifies, at that age, they're not required to have your permission to leave the group that they're in, the whatever Camp Carnival age group that they're in. Don't let your kids run amok like crazy people. Okay, they're your kids. If you keep control of them just like you would at home. That, being on vacation doesn't mean that your little demon can run around causing craziness to everybody. One of the most horrifying things that I've ever seen so far is a video that was posted on YouTube of this teenage boy that was hanging over the side of the railing on the ship. I guess he made some friends on the cruise, and I don't know if they dared him. I don't know if he thought he was going to impress them. That child could have fallen off of there and been either dead, lost at sea, never to be seen again. Oh, and he's hanging off the rails laughing like a little maniac. Please, do not let this be your child, okay? It was horrifying. I know if my son, and this is something else I'm going to say real quick, do not think that your little angel would not do something in a big group of other kids. My child would never do that. Don't tell yourself that. He or she in a big group of other kids. We've all been 9, 10, 11, 12 years old and done some really stupid, I'm going to bleep myself before I say it. Don't think that your kid would not do something and be so bold as to ignore everything that they're doing because your little angel wouldn't do that. I'm a grandma now, okay? Your little angel would do it, okay? They might just do it. So I know had my son ever done something like that, he would have been confined to our cabin for the rest of the cruise. He would have been grounded till he was 18 years old, and I would have whooped his butt as soon as we got home. That little boy could have died over what he did. His family was on a family he could have been killed. He could have fallen into that water, never to be seen again. Okay? Keep control of your children. Okay, if they can't handle going to the library at home or going to the skating rink or whatever, don't take them on a cruise. Okay, and if you do take them on a cruise, they're sitting right next to you the whole time. Don't let them run crazy, punching all the buttons in the elevator. Cutting in front of people and making I've seen a lot of things on cruise ships, and my son is scared to death of me, and he knows better. And he's pulled a few shenanigans himself. And believe me, there was some trouble to be had with that boy. I had to reel him back in. Okay, no freedom for you. So moving on. A cruise ship is also a small floating city. Okay, keep your kids in close contact with you at all times. I would highly suggest having the social media package, so you can either get an app where you can text your child, or through Facebook Messenger. Okay, stranger danger. Nobody comes back to your cabin. You don't go to anybody's cabin. You don't, the same rules that apply at home apply on the ship. Just because you're on this magical fantasy cruise that you're going on doesn't mean that there might not be a child molester or somebody, I don't want to be graphic here, but come on, people. You're talking about 4,000 or 5,000 people on a cruise ship. This is a small city. Bad things can happen. Okay, you need to be in touch with your kids at all times. You need to know where they are and what they're doing. Again, my son has pulled a few shenanigans. So I'm not judging. I'm telling you, things can happen. So you need to be aware of what they're doing.
Just gonna summarize that real quick. Make sure your kids, behave well and keep up on them, and don't
do the buddy system. If you're with brothers and sisters, make sure that the brothers and sisters stay together. If they've met a group of friends, my son would always meet a group of kids right away, and be in a group of kids. Don't let people come to your cabin. Don't let them go to anybody's cabin. They need to follow the same rules that they would follow at home. And the last thing that I would say was, if you don't like cruising with a lot of kids, don't go in the summer. Well, of course, but don't go in the summer. Don't go during Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, whatever. Those are when the ships are packed full of kids. Also, it's like triple the amount. It costs us 3 times more to go on a cruise in the summer than it costs us to go any other time, right? So, Carnival's probably the most family-friendly and most economical cruise line for your family. Your kids will have the best memories of their life. It's a wonderful time. But if you don't like little kids, don't go in the summer. Don't go on, you may have your heart set on a Christmas cruise, but pay extra to go on a different cruise line, because Carnival is going to have a lot of families. They're going to have a lot of kids. So anyway, there we are. I don't even want to read the comments. Somebody might be mad at me at this point, but I had to say what I had to say.
Basically just agreed with you and preached, and they were just letting you do your thing. But I think
Let me tell it like it is, okay? I'm telling it like it is.
So
because I have a child. My child is, you don't see my gray hair because I color him, but that boy, you got to keep a rein on them kids.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now. Some of my friends know exactly what I'm talking about.
Let's move on to the science section. Thank you, Shally. What is the most iconic destination people want to visit when they go on a cruise? I would say the beach. And that's what makes a beach a beach. Well, sand, of course. Yes, I'm going to go over the science of sand. So, sand is a naturally occurring granular material composed of finely divided rock and mineral particles. It is defined by size being finer than gravel and coarser than silt. Sand can also refer to a textural class of soil or soil type. Basically, a soil containing more than 85% sand-sized particles by mass. The composition of sand varies depending on the local rock sources and conditions, but the most common constitute of sand inland continental settings and non-tropical coastal settings is silica or silicon dioxide, presented as SiO2, usually in the form of quartz. The second most common type is calcium carbonate. For example, aragonite, which is mostly been created over the past 500 million years by various forms of life, like coral and shellfish. For example, it is a primary source from sand to be apparent in areas where reefs have dominated the ecosystem for millions of years, like the Caribbean. And by the way, sand is not a renewable resource over the human timescales, and sand suitable for making concrete is actually in very high demand. The exact definition of sand varies. The scientific unified soil classification system used in engineering of geology corresponds to the U.S. standard sieves and defines sand as particles with a diameter between 0.074 and 4.75 millimeters. By another definition in terms of particle size and used by geologists, sand particle ranges in diameter from 0.0625 millimeters to 2 millimeters. An individual particle in this range is termed a sand grain. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to kind of go over all the different particle sizes of sand. We know sand is pretty small. But when I was commenting about sand mostly being fish poop, what did I mean by that? If you guys have an idea, put it in the comments below. I'll give you about 3 seconds. Anyway, so the majority of sand is consumed by fish. A lot of fish go to the bottom of the ocean, try to inhale or suck up a lot of different particles from either humans or different fish debris, shellfish, everything like that. So they'll eat these particles of sand, trying to gain the nutrients in it, like algae and other sources. And then, well, it passes through their system and it, well, becomes sand. There are actually several different types of fish that will eat coral, and that's kind of becoming an issue. The parrotfish is an example of one of them. Parrotfish will eat the coral, which is basically calcium carbonate, and it's an alive type of animal. So when it eats this coral, it digests it, it gains its nutrients in the cells inside of the coral that's alive, and then it grinds it down with its big teeth that kind of look like rat teeth, and then it just poops out sand. So it eats coral and poops sand. That's terrifying and amazing at the same time. And next week, guys, I promise you, I'm going to try to find a more interesting topic. Okay. After what seems like an eternity back at home, Chris, our lovable cruise director, is back on his ship and able to take a breath. We join him on the Lido deck and this installment of Life of a Cruise Director.
Well, hi everyone, this is Chris, the Flying Scotsman, here on the Carnival Dream, and welcome to another segment from Life of a Cruise Director. Keep tuning in every week to get these little segments, and of course, watch it all live on CruiseWeekTV. Keep watching. Well, hello everybody, welcome to another vlog here on the Carnival Dream. I'm taking you now onto the Lido. Check it out, we got our nurse here. Woo! How are ya? I'm taking you onto the Lido now to show you what we've got, but before we go, look at the size of this guy. Not my ED. This guy. He's massive. Wow, he's so tall. So, I'm just gonna, hey man, how you doing?
All right.
This guy is so, how tall are you?
6'8".
6'8".
Yep.
Wow. That is unbelievable. Nice to meet you, sir. How are you doing? So, welcome on Lido. How are we all doing? This is the place to be, of course. Everybody's vlogging. Look at this. Don't come in the camera. Love it, love it. Let's show you all the lovely places we've got. We have the tequila bar on board. How you doing? Give us a wave. A great tequila bar. Across over there, of course, is the Red Frog Rumba. And hi guys, how you doing? How are ya? Now I'm going to show you some of the restaurants we got at the Carnival Dream. I'm sure you're all excited about that. We have the amazing Blue Iguana Cantina for our lovely burritos and tacos. Oh yes, that's my ED. He doesn't like to be filmed. What are you getting, Alex?
I'm gonna get 2 chicken tacos and a burrito. It's amazing.
Love it. So here we are, guys. We are at the Blue Cantina. I'm gonna have some tacos today. We have chicken made by the lovely Jackson. Jackson, how are you?
Good.
Nice. Thanks, Jackson. Have a nice day. Look at this. And then, of course, you have over here your topping station. All the classics. That's what I'm going to have. Oh, yeah. Hot sauce. And then over here, I'm going to show you the other cool thing. Everybody keeps talking about it. Are we going to get this? Are we going to get this? Ladies and gentlemen, Carnival Dream family, get ready. Because we have the one and only Guy's Burger Joint. Oh yes, Guy's Burger. Thanks for watching Life of a Cruise Director, and if you want to see that full vlog series every single week, you can join us here in the subscription. Don't forget to subscribe to Facebook as well, Flying Scotsman CD, and I'll see you soon. Keep watching Cruise Week TV.
It's so nice to have Chris back and joining us and sending us videos again. I know you guys must have missed him as well. Remember, we have many past videos available for you to watch at our website at CruiseWeek.tv, which also has links to our t-shirt pages and support pages as well. If you'd like to help us out there with funding for Season 2 trip, or if you would like to advertise on the show, you can do that with the links from our site. If you know someone who will enjoy watching the show as much as you, be nice and share the link on their Facebook wall so they too can enjoy it. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook pages. Just doing that alone really helps show our sponsors that we have a bunch of support and helps keep the show alive each and every week. Plus, you get entered in to win some great cruise swag drawings. Joe takes a seat next week, and I am not sure what he has come into mind to cover, but you know, it'll be fun and entertaining, and of course, you may also learn something new. So until next time, I'm Matt, and we'll see you on the ships.